Welcome everyone to another episode of Views from the Stands. We got episode 10 though of our transfer portal series. Your host is here, Gunner as always, and we're going to be talking about two great schools and two great classes. And honestly, they deserved to be talked about earlier, in my opinion. But we are here nonetheless, and let's get to it. So, if you guessed it right, you are the winner. Yes, we are going to be talking about Texas A&M first. Texas A&M brought in 23 total players. 247 has the second best class. One has them as the 45th. Obviously, a wide range there, but they definitely focused on, playmakers, interior trenches, all the positions that they've obviously lost. But DBs was a main focus in this, as they brought in 5 total, and then, like I mentioned, they brought in some playmakers on both sides. Even brought a kicker. Um, but the first guy we're going to talk about here is Des Ricks from Alabama. Didn't get in the rotation much last year. Highly talented kid and has potential, as you see. Highly 4-star rated kid. Number 3 DB in the country at the time, 40th overall. So just needs to continue to work on his craft and right now whatnot, and he could be a special kid for this defense. Next guy we're talking about here is Scooby Williams, coming from Florida. Mainly, he's following his coach. The coach, former coach, linebackers coach, and I think he was the DC there at Florida. He is now the DC at Florida. So he knows the scheme very well. Over 50 tackles last year, and understands the SEC. Physicality. So he's not a slouch. He'll be able to get that defense going in the right steps. Next guy we're talking about here is Nick Sorotin, coming from Purdue. He's moving closer to home. Obviously, you see from Bryan, Texas. But this guy's a beast. I mean, over 50 tackles, 10 sacks. Was a monster in the Big Ten. Pretty much was, I believe, the co-defensive player of the year, if not the defensive player of the year. So this is somebody that is a big get for Texas A&M and for that defense. Next guy we're talking about here is Cassius Howe, coming from Bowling Green. So he's an edge player, pass rusher. He's got 11 career sacks. Can play against the run a little bit. Just interested to see how the level up in competition does for him. But he's definitely going to be a good rotation piece. For him and Nick and the rest of the crew they got there. Next guy we're going to talk about is a very talented DB here, coming from Kansas State, excuse me. Will Lee III. 6'3", 185, great frame. He's got 2 interceptions, over 40 tackles, so that means he could definitely he's not afraid of the contact, right? He goes and gets his nose dirty, basically. So this is somebody that obviously SC was looking at, but I think during the time we didn't really have our coaching staff in place, so it's hard to commit to a team when you don't know the relationship of your position coach. So. Next guy is Cyrus Allen, coming from Louisiana Tech. Wide receiver, 6 foot, 177. 8 career TDs, over 60 catches and 1,200 yards. So he's got production, talent. He can make things happen. Interested what he's going to look like with the player talent up. But I think with where he's come from and how he's played, I think this guy is going to be a good piece for their offense. And then lastly, we're going to talk about here is Donovan Saunders, coming from Cal Poly. Great frame, 4 career interceptions. My only question is, I guess, the tackling. Again, the frame is great. It does seem like he might, he still needs to work on his, how to tackle and all that. So that'd be my only question with him, but he's definitely a stud. Another guy I definitely forgot to mention, but should have been mentioned, is Marcus Ratcliffe, safety, He is coming from San Diego State. Played as a true freshman, or he's very young. Can tackle, can play in the box, out of the box. So I think that's definitely a piece that they can continue to build with this defense. Um, they want athletic, physical DBs. It seems like just kind of looking at this class. So I think Texas A&M has. I like what they're doing, and I kind of see what they're doing right for the future. So I have high regards for this class. I think this is a class that deserves to be mentioned with some of the good ones. And again, we're not going to really reveal where we're at right now, but this class deserves um, some hype. So stay tuned for the final rankings at the end of this series, guys. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll get into part 2 of our episode 10. And I am looking forward to this one, boys. Hi, everyone. Gunner here to quickly say thank you for the continued support you guys are giving me and have been throughout this journey and whatnot. But if you haven't supported yet, please go subscribe to the channel. That will benefit you, as you'll get notifications, and it benefit myself as well. I hope you guys enjoy the Transfer Portal series. Here we go. We are back with part 2 of episode 10, and I'm pretty sure you guys guessed this one right. We are going to be talking about USC's portal class of 2024. And hopefully I don't talk too much. I don't think I will, because, we've definitely talked about this in past episodes with my channel, and also with Light the Torch podcast. We've definitely been talking a lot on that channel, so please go support that channel as well, guys. But couldn't leave this team off as we do this series for our channel, right? And the first guy we're going to talk about is Jaden Maeva from UNLV. Played as a true freshman, 17 TDs, 10 interceptions, over 3 Ks, right? So obviously the interceptions a little bit high in terms of the ratio as well. A little under 2-1. Has potential and is mobile. He will be competing for this job. So regardless of where Miller Moss is at, he will get a fair shake at the job. As this coming up spring and fall. So excited to see where he's at the end of fall camp. I do think Miller Moss will still be the guy, but I think we can definitely use Jaden in some certain packages. I think we will have a package for him regardless. He will be playing in some aspect. Next guy we're talking about is Joquavius Marks, aka Woody, coming from Mississippi State. Man, this guy is somebody I can definitely see why Lincoln got him. This is Lincoln's mold, in my opinion. 5'10", 210, coming from Georgia. He's very seasoned and veteran, over 400 carries, 22 career TDs. Can be used in the passing game a lot. Again, which Lincoln loves. So this guy's gonna create some havoc in the Big Ten and the rest of that running back room. We only have pretty thin, to be honest, but I think with Marks, he can carry the load for the most part. Next guy we're talking about is a very, very talented safety here, guys, coming from UCLA. Following his defensive coordinator, Kamari Ramsey. Over 40 tackles, 1 interception. Again, like I mentioned, he follows his coach, so he knows the scheme very, very well. And he's got a chance to obviously start in that very, very talented safeties room. So, that's kind of my thoughts and my projections. But at the end of the day, I'm obviously happy with whoever starts, because I trust and have faith in all these players. But he's a special cat. Next guy we're talking about is another special guy, dude. Easton Arnold from Oregon State, linebacker. He is coming here to basically, come bring that physicality for the linebacker room. Coming with Matt Entz, coming from North Dakota State. I mean, this linebacker room is going to improve dramatically from these last 2 years. And so he's had over 100 tackles just last year, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, was basically, defensive player of the year for Pac-12, or was one of the highly regarded. So he is again, playmaker coming from Mission Viejo. So good to see a Cali kid come back home. Next guy we're talking about here is a very underrated guy in my opinion. D lineman, 6'5", 280, Nate Clifton, coming from Vandy. Uh, Over 80 tackles, 7.5 sacks, even 1 interception last year, which is pretty surprising. This guy can play inside, outside. He's good against the run. Obviously, can pass the QB. So this is a underrated signing, and I don't think a lot of people have been talking about this across a lot of our channels out there. And then next we're going to talk about here is the Carlos Nicholson from Mississippi State. Great frame, 6'3", 195. I think this is another underrated guy on this class. Over 40 tackles. At times, teams didn't even throw his way in the SEC. He loves the physicality. He's not afraid to, get his nose dirty, basically. And so that's why I've loved about him when watching his film. So I think this guy's people are gonna he's gonna be a fan favorite, I think, at the end of the season. And then lastly, we're going to talk about here is Isaiah Rakes, D lineman, pretty much a nose tackle, 6'1", 327, right? Get those big and uglies, if you want to call them. I mean, this guy's going to take on double teams, get Bear Alexander free and the other D linemen that we have. And so that's what we need. You need the big bodies to compete in the Big Ten, and we are adding them. And excited about this defensive line. You got Coach Henney, you got Coach Nua, potentially Aaron Donald, Coach Donald, because he's retired now. So, I mean, we'll see, right? At the end of the day, you got to produce and you got to put the work in. And so these guys are definitely putting the work in, and I'm very, very excited. And so forgot to mention this at the beginning. Before I even mention this, another guy we're going to talk about is Keely Arnold, real quick. Another safety, pretty much the brother of Easton Arnold, coming from Oregon State. He is a veteran safety, very savvy, I would call him. Rated highly from PFF as one of the transfer portal, safeties, as well as Kamari. But I think them two coming in, just giving another added layer of experience in that room for an Anthony, Beavers, a Zion Branch, the young cats, right? And Marcus Galagos, always say his last name wrong. Christian Pierce, right? It's just a very talented room. And like I mentioned just recently, so 247 has two USC, the 13th best, and one has them as the 34th best. We only brought in 11 players, so obviously, I mean, I could tell where that, how that impacts things. But these, I mean, we literally basically got impact players everywhere. Every 11 spots are going to have an impact this upcoming season, in my honest opinion. You might think, oh, right, Miller Moss is going to take a job. Well, I still think, again, Jaden Maiava is going to have some type of packages, especially closer to the red zone. So, stay tuned again for where I put USC and Texas A&M in the final rankings. But they definitely have my eye. They are definitely highly recruited and rated in my opinion. And so I think that'll tell you a lot right there. But this will conclude episode 10 of our transfer portal series. Can't believe we're done through 10. It's been definitely fun. Let me know in the comments what you think of Texas A&M's, USC's portal class, and don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe if you aren't subscribing. Hey, but I appreciate you guys, all the love that you guys bring, and enjoy your weekend. Peace.